feeling right about now. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin J. Reeds. I hope you're having a wonderful day, because I know I'm not. Anyways, you ask me, Caitlin, why are you not having a wonderful day? I'll tell you, personal. Don't ask again. But then I'll also answer, I finished the Wheel of Time. I don't even believe that statement when I say it myself. I know. But I actually did finish all 14 books plus the prequel of The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan, finished off by Brandon Sanderson. I have thoughts. This is not going to be a memory of light reaction. This is not going to be an analytical deep dive into the lore of Wheel of Time. What this is going to be is a little girl, only the age of 23.
I am a girl. I am a teenage girl, only 23 years old. I am not perfect.
I am a child, a teenage girl, talking about her feelings and emotions, okay, on the Wheel of Time, finishing the Wheel of Time as a journey, and my relationship with long series and the Wheel of Time. Okay, because I'm feeling emotional, I'm feeling distraught, I'm grieving. There are lots of things that I'm feeling. And I just want to share them with you because I don't know how many other people besides Joshua, shout out, who also just finished the series. A lot of people have finished it, reread it countless of times. They're the ones, oh, I waited 5 years in between each book. Congratulations. Not me. And not Joshua either. Not Rand either. Okay. Joshua, if you're watching this, I'm right there with you, my man. This shit's painful, my fellow adversary. And let's discuss. Let's really get a deep dive into how you're feeling. Because I know I'm going to deep dive into how I'm feeling right now, right? Like, comment down below. Have you read The Wheel of Time? Finished The Wheel of Time? What do you think about The Wheel of Time? Because I love it. Feel free to leave any sort of comments. You know me. I thrive off of negativity. We all know, some people are like, oh, don't be negative. Okay, I can, agree when it comes to, anything, quite frankly. I just have fun. I like to be a little bit negative, okay? I think it's a little bit fun, almost satirical. Because I'm so negative with myself, why not just spread the love? It's all peace and love at the end of the day. We're all jokies. Jokey jokes, okay? So don't take anything I say in this personally if you have different opinions, okay? Subscribe. That was a long rant about comments. Let's just get right into the meat and potatoes of today's video, okay? Which is discussing the Wheel of Time, my thoughts and my feelings. All right? I'm going to discuss them right now with you. My first thought, I am distraught. I am sad. Wheel of Time is something I started in July of 2021, right around the beginning of the trailer drop and all of that for the TV show. I hadn't finished the second book by the time the TV show came out, but I had finished the first, so I really didn't like the first book of The Wheel of Time. I remember coming on here and saying, I don't like the characters, I don't like the story, blah, 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 blah. I am so beyond glad that I just carried on and continued and stuck it out because these characters have become a part of my life almost for the past year and couple of months, okay? They've become a part of me and I've absorbed them into my own psyche because I just adore them so much, okay? Coming, from a girl, like I said, a young teenage girl, only 23 years old, who grew up kind of reading longer series by the one that shall not be named, Percy Jackson, those books, and the Heroes of Olympus series, and Junie B. Jones, all of these kind of big, long, connected series where we stuck with these characters for a while. I grew really large and close connected bonds with these characters. Oh, City of Bones, perfect example. Another really long YA series. I was really into Sarah J. Maas before getting into adult fantasy. And all of those books really lent me the ability to attach myself to these characters and really almost leech happiness off of them. Just because I connected with each and every one of them in different ways. And that is what I personally love about a long series. And if you can call Wheel of Time anything, you can call it a long series, all right? And the way I became attached to each and every one of these characters, even if I hated them, I feel like they almost reflected the worst parts of myself, which is why I hated them so much. Especially someone like Rand, how negative he is all the time, how annoying he is, that quick switch. These are all things that I could sometimes identify in my own life, myself, my behaviors, and that made me dislike him, And I just really appreciate so much what Robert Jordan did with these books, and I'm so sad to see it end. All right, I'm sad that we don't get any sort of flesh out of really, I know the wolf dream is also Tel'aran'rhiod, but what exactly is the origin of all of these wolf powers? We have Elias, someone else who could have, we could have had a story about. We have Perrin, and we have Slayer as well. We have many different people that are able to come into the wolf dream and really manipulate it and use it to their advantage. And how do you get these powers as a mortal? I understand that Perrin's Ta'veren, but how do you get these powers when you don't have the capabilities to touch the one source at all? So that really interested me, and we don't get any of that origin work whatsoever. What also really interested me were the Elfin and the Eelfin and Matt. I want to know how exactly, and maybe I'll get this more upon reread, because my ass is going to reread them. Maybe I'll get it upon reread, but I really wanted to know more about the Elfin and the Eelfin and how exactly Matt got all of these memories placed within him. I understand that he asked, like, how can we win this war, I believe it was, and that's what they gave him. But what exactly did they gift him with? I still am confused and a little unsure. I know it's a single soul who's lived many, many lives. Is that a hero from the Horn of Valir? And why did they give him a hero from the Horn of Valir's memories? Is it because he blew the Horn of Valir? And who are the Elfin and the Eelfin? I would have loved to see more of them, because Moraine was kept in their tower. And I feel like that was the part where we captured Moraine from the Elfin and the Eelfin was so lackluster, because Robert Jordan had spent so many books kind of building this slow burn of world building, character building, that I really enjoyed. Lots of people hated it. I really loved it. And these last 3 books took everything and put them on fucking speed drive. And we were just going without covering a lot of the bases, in my opinion, that really anchored, or what I felt like anchored Robert Jordan's work. The reason why it felt so grand in scope was because all of those middle books making it big, making it grand, giving you the scope of different perspectives throughout the conflict and controversy. And I feel like we were really lacking that in the last 3 books. We were missing some of my favorite characters for a lot of it. We hardly see Fael for a really long time. We don't see Elaine, which really upset me. I don't even remember, did she give birth at the end of A Memory of Light? She was pregnant for 6 books. And we don't see her give birth? Or if we did, it wasn't memorable enough to implant in my brain? That's a little pathetic, okay? It's a little pathetic. And not for nothing, I do think that Sanderson's Matt and everyone thinks this, but it did not hit Matt on the head. He wrote him very pompous, arrogant, and he was like that in the beginning books, but in my opinion had such building character-wise in those middle books that I feel were so important, okay? And he almost threw out all of that building and made him that pompous, arrogant asshole from the beginning again. I have problems with what Brandon Sanderson did. Okay, I do. Do I appreciate him for finishing off the series? Absolutely. Do I adore his other works? Yes. Do I think these 3 are his strongest? Not by a long shot. All right? And I know a lot of people are like, it's so good in the beginning, and then the slag, just get through it, and then the last books really pick up. And I completely disagree. The beginning books do slag. The middle books, are where it's at. From when they're in the Aiel near Rhuidean up until honestly where Brandon Sanderson picks off with A Gathering Storm. It's very slow burn, slow pace, grand character building, plot building, scheme and scale building, and all of that for me was impeccable. And I didn't want anything less. And we got less of that in Sanderson's finishing of the series. And that upset me. That's sad to me. Okay? And why exactly is it sad? Why am I grieving? It's because I know that Robert Jordan cannot expand upon any of these concepts or principles in other books. There's no going back and writing a story about when Lews Therin was in the height of his prime, but focused on someone like Perrin, focused on someone who is a wolf and in the wolf dream. There's no agency for maybe going into the future and seeing what happened to the Aiel, and then following someone who goes to the Elfin and the Eelfin and gets gifted like Matt does, and gets his memories and recognition in that soul, and how they handle and grapple that, and really digging into the origins, the meat and the juice of these stories. And that just is depressing to me. It's upsetting to me. It's sad. Okay, and I'm grieving because I feel like it's truly hit me that there's nothing more really from Robert Jordan. There's The Lord of Atari, I think it's called. Let me know if that's any good, if I should read it. But besides that, there's no more fantasy from Robert Jordan that I know of. And that makes me want to die. It makes me want to cry. And I am sad. Eternally and extremely sad about it. Here are some positive takeaways, okay? And are these my takeaways? Not necessarily, but I try to tell myself this when I'm getting very sad and worked up about the Wheel of Time. It's a 14-book series, all right? My boyfriend was like, Caitlin, you know how many people can say they read a 14-book series plus the prequel? And I get like we as a community obviously can all say that, or we're about to be able to all say that, or we're working on being able to all say that. And that's amazing. But that's because we're readers in this science fiction fantasy community that really enjoys long, thick, luscious books and lush series. And we're used to that type of thing, you know? Not a lot of people are. And I feel like not a lot of the general world population has been able to consume Robert Jordan and appreciate him the way that I and so many others have. And for that, I am so grateful. I'm grateful that I picked it up in the first place and was able to go on this epic journey with Jordan and all of the characters. And then at the end, Brandon Sanderson. I'm so thankful that he was able to finish off this series for us fans, and himself as a fellow fan really trying to do the series justice. I know that he is one of the ones that... Oh, right. Anyways, I'm thankful for Brandon Sanderson for finishing off the series for us fans. I know he was in the camp, and that's why, you know, the opposite camp is I with those middle books, and that's why he did what he did with those last books. I can understand and appreciate that. Does that mean I agree? No, not at all. Okay? But that's okay. Dad, it's fine if she comes up. I'm just gonna move on from that point. My dogs keep interrupting me, and I've lost my train of thought, okay? Now I want to go into kind of my predictions that I had in the last Wheel of Time video that I made, and I want to talk about, was I right? Was I wrong? Was I, like, almost there? I was right. Rand lived. Ha! I was wrong. The girls also survived. All three of them, alright? So, Rand lived. The girls survived, okay? We obviously don't know about the future of the Aiel. We didn't get to see that. Elaine and Brigitte. This is when I wanted to discuss. Because I was heavily concerned for Brigitte. And I was concerned that when that horn was blue, by the way, the fact that Oliver blew it, because Matt technically died, genius. Okay, anyways, I was so concerned for Brigitte and the horn and that whole debacle. But when she was decapitated, I was like, let's go. I was like, Oliver, blow that fucking horn. I was like, we need her back now. But I knew everything would be okay when she got murdered. Brutally. Okay. And then we find out that she is getting re-wheeled into the Wheel of Time and coming back as a new little baby. That made my heart blossom. Okay? Again, wish we saw the babies with Elaine. I don't know why. If we knew she was pregnant with twins, I feel like we should have seen that. Okay? That's just me. I love how Min became Tuon's truth seeker. I adored that. I adore Tuon. Okay? I just do. No one can tell me otherwise. Tuon is one of my favorite characters in this series and one of my favorite perspectives to follow. Love Tuon so much. Okay? I do. I do. The end. Does anyone want to explain to me how Rand's conscious? Oh, spoilers. If you're fucking watching this far into the video and you don't want spoilers, tough luck. But Rand, his mind was transferred into Moradin's body. How the fuck did that work? How did that happen? Of course, Cadsuane is the one to notice. But how did that transfer of power transpire? How? Egwene, dead, knew that was going to happen. Knew she was going to be a martyr. There's just no, there's nothing else the woman could have done. Galad could have died. Honestly, the one thing about this book also that annoyed me was, and this is something that people have critiqued Brandon Sanderson on, and now I truly understand, was the last battle. This is epic. This is the last battle. This is the time for characters to die. And there were so many characters on the brink of death that just did not die. Galad, okay? Lan should have died 1,000,000 times. And I would have been fine if he skipped death all of those beginning times in the book and then died at the very end against Demon Dread. But he didn't. He didn't. Galad also fighting the Forsaken didn't die. But thank God Gawain did. I hate that motherfucker. He is the most annoying motherfucker on that page. And I don't know why we had to follow him, why Egwene's interested in him, anything like that. None of the above. I just don't understand it, don't care, never will. When he put on that fucking ring from the Shan Chen, I was like, dude, you're so fucking stupid. Stupid. Okay? But I digress. Galad too, but more so Gawain. What a fucking loser. Idiot, didn't like him. Glad he's dead. Egwene, sad she's dead. Brigitte, happy to see her turn a new leaf. So glad to see Noel with the heroes of the Horn. A beautiful part of the book. Nice touch. Okay? Do I have anything else to say about this? Yes, of course. I can have a whole in-depth talk about the Wheel of Time. My thoughts, more analytical. But I felt very emotional. And I had a lot to say emotionally about the Wheel of Time and its impact that it's had on me and my life. Okay? And I felt the need to come on here and talk about it because there has to be other people who felt a similar way, and I need some sort of support, honestly. Joshua, I need support. Okay? As a fellow person who has just finished the Wheel of Time, I need support. You're the only person I know that has finished it. Granted, you are famous. But I need some support. Anyways, comment down below. What do you think about the Wheel of Time? How did you feel when you finished it, if you did? Alright. Subscribe. I feel emotionally damaged. That's how I feel. I'll see you in another video.